Cane Universe, welcome those who are new to the cane culture and to those of you that are in the 6-week challenge and all that have been following us now for a while. Thank you so much for your loyal following. Today by request, the all too common roundhouse punch, the Haymaker, the hook even, right, classified as such. We're going to talk about how to stop that common attack and the way that it materializes, right? So it's a lot of times, unfortunately, you don't get to see it the way that we're looking at you here in this 10 and 2, right? That's our goal. But let's take a look at the attack. So our lead instructor Kiko's going to come in, and what I'm going to do here is we're going to put the Raven down, and if somebody would hand me a drone, that would be fantastic. Thank you. And so this is how we get our people to come back and play with us, right? So this is the attack. This individual typically, and I'll ask him to step in a little bit good. If it's from this situation where you are, let's look at the attack first. Go ahead and throw that punch, and it's something that's coming like that. And there's a variety of ways that he can do that, but he loads up over here, and then there it comes, right? So it's a pretty powerful shot. And you could find yourself in a situation where you're trying to water this down. You're in your passive ready stance with the cane out here. I always warn about putting the cane in such a way where it looks like you're menacing, you're putting it in somebody's face, not just because it can escalate this, but because of the practical reason that he can take it. And then you need another a skill set for that. So you've created your distance if you're here. If you analyze this, his midline is going to open up. And that's a pretty good cue that he's coming there, right? And that's assuming you seeing that windup. Can he also throw it a lot shorter? He could, but at this distance, you got to lunge in a little bit, right? If he throws a short hook from there, he's not going to hit me. He's just not going to hit me from there. He would have to move in. He opens up the midline. Okay, a lot of times, let me just point something out. There is a tendency to want to come in here and jam because this is open. Now check him out. The minute I go to try to do something like this, notice how he puts his elbow in the way. I didn't have to tell him to do that. He does it instinctively because he sees it coming. He doesn't necessarily throw with one hand down and the other one open. No. So a lot of times we think we're coming in here. No, he can see that coming. Notice that the title of this segment is how to stop it. I'm into stopping the threat, not creating a secondary opportunity where I have to move. I rather not get into that. I'm assuming that he's younger, faster, stronger. I need to get out of this mess. So we're going to go to Old Reliable. It's a power shot template. It maximizes the use of the tool as an impact tool, not the tip of the cane, right? So we get, what's the best way to strike with the tip? Well, there's a time and a place for that, but that should not be your number one go-to. It's like asking, what's the best way to blow out birthday candles from 10 feet away? Why do you want to do that in the first place when you can do it from right here, right? Maximize the use of the tool by using that shaft. That's your go-to, especially at a distance. The tool precedes you, so we're out here. I don't want any trouble when he does that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to shut that down, right? So I'm going to come power shot on this. No, down! That is my first shot. It's a power shot on that limb. It seeks bone. So whether you're catching that radial bone right here, boom, at the wrist, it opens it up, and now it's up to you. Are you going to go up here to that clavicle? I don't tell you to headhunt. Some of you looking at that, absolutely, my second shot is going to go to the head. Well, you're going to have to give an explanation as to why you did that, and there are many laws, right? Last week we spoke about a variety of gun laws, including the stand your ground and all this, and there are laws in place that give you the right to defend yourself, right? Not an attorney. I'm not giving you advice in that area, but I'm pointing out that it's here as a knockdown, and then that second shot, I'll tilt here for you, and what's going to happen here is as I come down and shoot that down, notice that all I have to do is step out and take out the knee. Now, why am I so big on taking out the wheels? Because then you can't chase me. Even if you're faster than me, then you still cannot chase me. So this is important, and instructors don't miss this. How do you communicate to those that you are teaching that this is something that they could do? We want to find out. Well, what's the move? The move is here and then here, right? So this is the move. It came down, and now you're coming out here. So if your student, if your pupil can do this, and then come here, these are hard shots, and you can always demonstrate it on a bag, and it's here, and then stepping, boom, to take it out. They're power shots. They're power shots. I'm not going to get into the numbering of the shots. Our students know that if you're doing the 6-week challenge or you follow us, you know what that is. But it's a shot that's coming here to knock it down. You'll see that the body tends to come down. It comes up in case that he is going to strike or do anything else after that shot. Boom, and immediately creating my distance to take that shin out. Right, so now you're going to have a hard time chasing me. Notice that it leaves me also in position so that this shot does, right? So I did this, now I did this. It leaves me in position that if I had to come down, I can continue because it's never just one shot. It's always a barrage of punches. Let's see what happens when you come over here. You may have seen, you can look it up on YouTube, boy, the Sick knockout game, right? And you can see this over at a popular fast food restaurant. There's a senior behind the counter, and he's left alone for a minute. There's nobody else there. And this criminal, because that's what he is, a criminal, he starts doing, look at what Kiko's doing right now. And he starts exhibiting pre-attack indicators where he's taking his weight, he's looking away from his intended target. He may have even made contact with me and made a gesture like hello and all good. And that's not his intention, right? Your cane is here, but you're keeping everybody in your 10 and 2 field of vision. There's a violation of time. It's just you by yourself. You have to be hypervigilant, and you don't know this guy. He's pretty close to you right now. And so you see he starts doing this kind of thing and fidgeting a little bit, and just the opposite of what his intention is, which is, notice how he loads. He's preloading to that side because guess what's coming? Here it comes. Boom. Can even do it empty. He can do it with something in his hand. But the idea is they're headhunters, because when they do that, you're knocked out. You're knocked out, or at least you're disoriented, and then they can do whatever they want, right? So, you know, if I'm at the counter and I have my cane with me, bringing it up to here is just going to make me quicker because I cover my distance shorter. He's fidgeting, either create the space and get out, because it's just not worth it at this point, right? You don't have to provide a target. And if you absolutely cannot do anything, at least be mindful of it by bringing it here. Why? Because the distancing come to have to lift it up here. I may be able to catch it, but maybe not. But from here, it's a little bit different, right? At the very least, from here, right, I'll be able to catch it here. And if I can catch it here, then I can move on. Ideally, what I would like to do is step away to create the distance, not move towards, but create my distance here. Back off with strong, there it is. And the power shot allows you to come back up. So those of you that see figure 8 maneuverability and this kind of thing, and you say all that spinning stuff and no self-defense, you don't get it. You don't get it. And that's okay, because you may not come from that. But you're moving from here, and this is what you're back off, and then immediately, sorry about that, coming back over. This is a drone, but drones, you can still feel it. You see how it sets you in position to move forward with strong verbals, right? That's how you're shutting it down. The third situation that I'll present here to you, and it's a bad one. I always get asked, what happens with an attack from the rear? Well, if you didn't see it coming, I hate to tell you this, but you're going to get whacked. That's the reality of it. But there are ways that we can train. Folks, if you feel this, we train automatically to create the distance. My concern, yes, the shot to the head, but also any weapon that might be coming here. The kidneys are very vulnerable, right? You have a large volume of blood filtering through there all the time, so that would not be good. So we're moving, rather than moving in and trying to do something like this where we're going to catch the punch, move away from, this hand comes up, and back off. It's a very similar application in that sense, where I am stepping away from and creating distance. The fact that he can put his hand on your shoulder is an advantage to him, because he can go ahead, the proprioception is going to be there for him. He can pull in and 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 fire up the shot, and do it here. Pull it into you. So you're moving up, and that's your catch. That's an actual shot. Right? So you're going to come here and back off, and then come up again. Right? There's the clavicle. Yes, you have the head, and of course, point down for a second. I want to show something. Get in that position that you were in right now. Right? So please, it will be the nearest limb. See it exposed, and not up here. Not up here. Please, please do not go here. You have the TFL there. Yeah, you might be strong enough to go through all the padding. You have 4 quadricep muscles to get to a femur. Please think, you guys, you're thinking with a tactical mind. Back off! When you go back down, please. Go back down. That's what you're taking out. That's what you're taking out, and you're taking it out as you're leaving. So if I were to do it like this, and I'm going to ask you just to move back after I do this shot, just move back so you're out of the range, and I totally cannot hit you there. So back off! See how I move towards, because I'm already on my way out. The cane is up here, so that if I have to, I come right back down. Because how many shots is it going to take? As many as it takes to incapacitate, right? So that I can get to a safe place, and nothing beyond that. All right, so for those of you, some of you, we have conversations on the phone, you've been watching us, some of you have been following us for years, and we want to make sure that if you're seeing this and you find the value in it, of course, always subscribe and hit the bell icon. Yes, especially those of you that are new, so that you don't miss any of this. But what are we doing with this? When you see this, what are we doing now? So you say, man, that makes sense, and how are you going to practice it? Are you going to do it? How do I even know that you're doing these things right? The majority of what I demonstrate here requires also a base. Those power shots that I'm talking about, how do you do it, right? Because it's not throwing these crazy shots. You're like an educated fighter now. And where's the support, the guidance, and the accountability? My staff and I, we don't get to have our eyes on you. Well, there is a way to do that. And we don't know if you're a good fit yet, but we can find out, and it's at no cost. It's with that cane clarity call. And all you're going to do is you're going to text the letters CCC to 305-745-7839. And the team will schedule you in less than 24 hours. And what we're going to do is we're going to sit down. You're going to tell us where you are. For most, you're starting as a beginner. But there are those of you, increasing number of you, that you see the demand for this. You see that there's a way to serve with this, and you're looking to teach it and pass it on to others. Some of you are even cane instructors. You've been teaching for a while, but you need that curriculum. And particularly in these times, we know how to do that and how to serve your audience best with a blueprint and take you step by step. So regardless of where you are in the timeline of your cane training, it all begins with that simple call. And again, my staff and I are here to serve you. Thank you so much for watching. Keep caning and stay safe.